Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Dr. Ina McBride Silva coming to you again, once again from Lion of Judah. I am presenting myself to you today as part of this scriptural study as a repairer of the breach. Once again, my name is Dr. Ina McBride Silva from Lion of Judah. And this study will be dedicated to repairing the breach and discussing knowing seasons and appointed times. I pray and now that this scriptural study blesses you and brings you to a greater understanding of the times and seasons of Father Yahua. So we are looking at knowing seasons and appointed times based on the creator of all, not based on the calendar on your wall or what someone told you. We're talking about testing and proving all things and knowing what the creator of all has specifically instructed us to do and knowing how to test and prove that. We are taking the 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15 approach as being a Berean stated in Acts chapter 17 and verses 11. We're looking to prove all things and continually test and prove all things through palaling or prayer, through active biblical study, and through actual observation of the word in action. So let us begin by saying and looking here, do we believe that Father Yahua, who I am referring to now based on his restored Hebraic name, do we believe that the creator of all, Father Yahua, made everything good and perfect? Now, if we believe that, then we can move on to the next step. If we don't believe that and we have some confusion in our mind between what the creator of all, Father Yahua, did and some of the things you see happening in the world, then we need to have a moment where you stop and you reflect and get that priority straight before moving forward. Because when we're talking about what Father Yahua made, we're talking about the earth, the fullness thereof. We're talking about the skies and the heavenlies above. This beautiful picture I've inserted because this is raw, natural nature, and this is what Father Yahua made. And based on what I'm seeing here, it's beautiful, it's breathtaking, it's perfect, and it's good in every way. And when we stop and we reflect on what Father Yahua has done, we understand that what he made is good and is perfect in every way. It is also, when we talk about the heavenly luminaries, it is repetitive precision. It is accurate and it is precise. Accurate means it's correct. Precise means that it is consistent. So our scriptural hope is not just wishful thinking or an optimistic outlook. Rather, it is a confident expectation based on the certainty of Yahuwah and his word. And his word is creation in activation. Oh, I'll say that again. His word is creation in activation. His creation, he not only just created, it is activated. It is an active, moving creation. Birds in the air, the fish in the sea, it is active. We're focusing now on the heavenly luminaries as a indication and as a timekeeping piece to help us identify and know the times and the seasons of our Father. And we understand that with all certainty, Father Yahuwah and what he created, his word, he himself has anchored both in the past, the present, and the future, meaning that it is reliable and it is precise. And so when we focus on what our Father Yahuwah has done, we understand that his creation, his heavenly luminaries, are both reliable and precise. Let's take a look at Genesis 1, verses 14 and 15. And we understand that Yahuwah said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So Father Yahuwah put the lights in the firmament. And when we say the lights in the firmament, the lights in the heaven, the sun, the moon, and the stars, for signs, for seasons, for days, and for years. And let them also be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And so if we believe that Father Yahuwah created the lights, he established them in heaven, and he actually performed it where they are reliable and precise in helping keep with signs, seasons, days, and years. Why do we depend on calendars on the wall to help us calculate, track time, keep up with our seasons, instead of going back to his original plan? So yes, this scriptural study is going to be attacking cognitive dissonance. It is. It's an attack on not sitting down and thinking. Okay. I myself have been where many of you who are watching this video may still be or are coming out of. We as the people of Yah have to learn how to sit down and study his word in detail and understand that what he said is perfect, it's good, and there's no changing it. That being said, we're going to look at now how to number our days. Psalms chapter 90, verse 12 says, teach us to number our days. Teach us to number our days. Well, what does that mean? In part 2 of this presentation, we'll look at exactly what that means to number your days. But for now, it is important to know that this is an active, moving instruction. It is not something that is just philosophical. Our Father Yahuwah is not philosophical. He's a God of action. He's a God of order. He's a God of precision. And he's a God of accuracy. And so when he's saying, teach us to number our days here through David, it is actually something that we actively can do. Now, this video won't go into the fullness of new moon day and why new moon day is calculated on the full moon. That is something that will be in part 2 of this study. Please note and understand that every 29 or 30 days, there is something called a new moon. And the new moon is the full moon. If you notice here at the top, you see the moon going through its different phases and coming back around to be full once again. That cycle is the cycle that scripture denotes in various places that we should utilize to help us track our months. If you remember, I stated in Genesis chapter 1, I showed you the scripture that lets you know that indeed we should be tracking our months and numbering our days based on the heavenly luminaries. And so if we look here at new moon being the full moon, and every month, that would put our Sabbaths on the 8th day, 15th day, 22nd day, and the 29th day. According to Leviticus chapter 23, verses 1 to 2 and verses 44. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, the appointed times of Yahuwah, which you are to proclaim as set apart gatherings, my appointed times are these. It skips to verse 44. Thus did Moshe speak of the appointed times of Yahuwah to the children of Israel. So we know here, according to Leviticus chapter 23, verses 1 to 2 and 44, that there are indeed appointed times. Scriptures that I did not include in this particular presentation, I will put them in part 2. We'll go in detail about those scriptures that point us to the fact that new moon is indeed the full moon. This particular focus is on helping you understand, first and foremost, there's a lot of studying that needs to be done, that you need to get into scriptures, and that you need to dig out for information and get in study groups to make sure you're understanding how to track and know your seasons. And first and foremost, this study is dedicated to understanding where we are now and some responsibilities that we need to make sure we are delving into and doing. That being said, we're talking about Daniel chapter 8 as a focus here as well, that there will indeed be a final king and a kingdom. And if you please go down to the description box in this video, there is some links where you can learn more about Daniel's 2300 day count that lets us know the importance of the 7-year cycle to Shavuot and the coming trials that we must face. Again, please see the YouTube channel mentioned in the description box for more detail. Now, this particular statue in this picture is taken from Daniel's vision about pretty much all the kings and kingdoms that will come until the reign of Yahushua, which is the son of Yahua, to come to the earth. And so if we are following scripture, then we know and understand that all the seasons and appointed times of Yahuwah are important with keeping track of Daniel's 2300 day count, and with also helping us know and understand how to conduct our everyday lives. Now, pretty much everyone in the world right now knows something is going on because of coronavirus and COVID, and there's an alarming underlying discernment that something is truly wrong, but many people can't put their finger on what it is. We have to first and foremost make sure we're understanding and we're trusting Yahuwah, that we know the guidelines of Yahuwah regarding proper health and wellness. We need to trust his plan. We need to also understand from the picture earlier that there is a governmental order that has been set in motion. There are kings and kingdoms that are being established and that are being taken out of the way by Father Yahua himself, that his plan might fully come forward. And the point of his plan fully coming forward is for the world to know that we cannot self-govern. It's going to be made evident before Yahushua, the Hamashiach returns, that we cannot self-govern. Many people now, they're waking up to the fact that there is something sinister going on in government. Of course it is. If you refer to 1 Samuel chapter 8, this is where the people of Yah cried out for a different system other than the prophetic system, due to Samuel's sons being corrupt and not ruling well over Yah's people. But rather than seek solution from Yah himself in prayer, in fasting, in plowing, the people again went to the work of the flesh and cried out to be like other nations, might I add, and ask for a king. I know you're like, what does this have to do with what she's been speaking on? But stay with me here. 1 Samuel chapter 8 gives a clear picture of the fact that Yahuwah establishes government. It gives a clear picture of the fact that he wanted people to follow him, but people decided within themselves that they wanted an earthly master. 1 Samuel chapter 8 verse 18 really points to that, because Samuel the prophet, he began to cry out to the people, and I want to read specifically what he said to them concerning that matter. If you read 1 Samuel chapter 8 verse 18, he said, the prophet, when that day comes, you will cry out for relief from the king you have chosen, and Yahuwah will not answer you in that day. Can I tell you, many people are waking up to the fact that this earthly government um, is not all that it's supposed to be, and in all actuality, it can't be. Father Yahua established it so that we could have some type of order in the earth. But ultimately, people need to turn to Him. That's why this particular portion of this scriptural study is focused on understanding and trusting and knowing the guidelines of Yahuwah regarding your proper health and wellness. Yes, COVID is going on, but the CDC's guidelines are not going to protect you. Can I tell you that's not going to protect you? The government and their vaccines, that's not going to protect you. What's going to protect you is to get in covenant and to get in relationship with Father Yahuwah. There's no way around it. Not only are the governments not going to protect you fully, we're now looking at an age where men are looking to be God even the more, and the vaccinations that they're going to give you could possibly kill you. So I'm going to go here and we're going to look at what's happening in the world, because there is a political race on who's going to be the first to solve this COVID-19 problem. And as of today, according to the emergency email and wireless in the network, there were some breaking news. Russia becomes the first country to approve a COVID-19 vaccine. President Vladimir Putin said on Tuesday that Russia had become the first country in the world to grant regulatory approval to a COVID-19 vaccine after less, I want to point that out, after less than 2 months of human testing. Yeah. Now, I won't go on and tout and make this video about anti-vaccination, but I will encourage people. Look up what's in most of your vaccines. Look up the ingredients list. And for the words that you don't understand, look those words up. Get a clear breakdown and a clear picture of what is being given to you. This goes back to knowing, trusting, understanding the health and wellness plan of Yahuwah. Listen to me. This vaccine that is coming is not a good idea for you to put in your body. I'm telling you that from a research standpoint. I'm telling you that from a spiritual understanding standpoint. I'm telling you that as a good Berean. But me telling you that isn't good enough. You need to go out and do the research and understand that definitely a vaccine is coming down, but understand that the vaccine is not going to be good for you. I can stand on that because my research that I've done on vaccinations has been extensive and tested and proven that they're not the route you want to go. If you want good health, then you have to depend on Yahuwah. He's got a plan and he's got guidelines. The CDC made suggestions. And even though they're just suggestions, do you know there are laws where people are trying to put laws in place to make people wear masks, to make people stand 6 feet apart? It's amazing the power that an organization has in comparison with the Almighty, who has given us guidelines about how we should eat, what we should do to maintain good health and wellness. Trust his plan. Rather than running to the quick and easy way, this way here that requires no real effort and understanding, run to the biblical way. Get in tune with Father Yahuwah and the creator of all, so that you can know and understand his plan and know his guidelines for good health. Okay, this has been a brief video study. Look out for part 2 because it will be coming soon, and it will go into more depth about understanding and trusting Father Yahuwah and knowing how to count your new moons and knowing what season we're in. This is the season where true Bereans need to come forward and testify the goodness of Father Yahuwah, and know that we're in a time where our choices need to be in alignment with the plan of Yahuwah. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you and take care. Shalom.